Welcome to Joycast. I'm your host. I'm Joy in the Morning and just want to welcome you again. Hope you're having a great day. Um, I know mine has been really good and I couldn't wait to be here right now. And this is our first time having a guest. I've been telling you guys about him and we just kept missing each other. But today we're here, we're excited, and hope you enjoy it and also get something from it. Couple of reminders here. First of all, I want to just start out by thanking a couple of people that I have not done in the past. And so first I want to thank Kavan, and you guys met him. He's my partner in crime, I say. But he's the one that comes here every week, keeps me encouraged, sets me up, gets all of the background techie stuff done because I don't know how to do any of it. And then I really want to say a quick thank you to a brother. He lives here in Vallejo. I've known him for a really long time, and his name is Cortez Quinn. And he is actually the one that spurred me to do Joycast. And he believed in me when I actually probably didn't believe much in myself that I could do this. So I want to say thank you for that. And let me see if I'm forgetting anything else. Of course, I want to thank Jesus. He's the reason. And again, we're doing it for him. Let me see. I have a lot to share with you guys. And also, I wanted to say that some of our topics, I have a whole lineup for probably like the next 12 weeks, different guests, different topics. And I wanted to say that some of them, there'll be times where they're sad, but they're not always going to be sad. There's going to be fun topics, and we're going to laugh, and we just have an array, just a different stories that we're going to be sharing with all of you. So please tune in if you can. We need more listeners out there. Share with your friends. And if you would like to share your story with us, I would love to have you sitting right here. You may notice a different background. We're in my tea room today, and I'm so happy about that because sometimes I just want to do something with it. And so this will be our regular background. May change a little bit, but we will be here in the tea room, and you're always welcome to come and have tea with me. And so let's get started. I want to introduce you to my great, wonderful brother here, James. I'm not going to try to say your last name because I always mess it up.
McClanahan.
So I'd like to introduce you to him. And today's topic is perseverance. After we met a couple of weeks ago, I was not only blown away, but I was like, wow, what was my take? What did I take away from it? And his story is just that perseverance. And so you get to hear it for yourself. And I know that you're going to be encouraged. And so we're just going to dig in right now. We're just going to start.
Sounds
so
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Appreciate it, Joy.
So tell me what year it took place.
1997, October. 15 years old.
15 years old.
And I'll be 42 in August.
Wow.
Yeah.
So go ahead and share with us.
So, like we said previously, growing up, I played sports. I was into baseball, basketball, football. Was really good at it too.
Right.
I shared the field with a lot of professional athletes that are currently playing now and, played years ago that retired. I was always younger than those guys, but at the same time, I could keep up with, their skill sets and things like that. So I had aspirations to one day play professional baseball. I received scholarships at a young age, 9th grade,
Wow.
10th grade. I had professional scouts coming out to watch my games and things like that. Fast forward to my sophomore year, school just started in September. In October, I got into my car accident, literally 5 minutes away from my house, right on 37 here in Vallejo. To that night, it was one of those situations where I really didn't want to go out. My friend, he was at the house. He was anxious to want to go out. So we called a buddy of mine who actually was a little bit older, who had a car and driver's license, things like that. And we get on the freeway. I didn't have my seatbelt on, and just a matter of moments, the car just started like going out of control, right?
Wow.
So for me, it was a scary situation, right?
Where were you sitting?
I was actually in the back seat behind the driver's side.
Okay.
So I leaned up on the headrest and I asked my friend who was driving, what's going on? And he didn't know. Next thing I know, I closed my eyes and it was just pitch dark. And I just felt this pressure on my chest. So as I tried to push up, not knowing what it was or what's going on, come to find out, I was ejected from the back seat. Went straight through the windshield. I had an open skull fracture, head injury. The car flipped down the hill and landed on top of me. And that's what was on top of me when I was actually trying to push up. It crushed my spinal cord from the front, from the pressure. So there's a perfect time and place for everything. As we were on the freeway driving, the paramedics were actually behind us, trailing the whole time. And their description was, from a distance, they said it looked like maybe a kid threw like a baby doll out the window, but it was actually me being ejected through the front windshield. So I was able to get the proper care and treatment in a quick, time frame. The firefighters came. They were able to pull me from underneath the car, put me back onto 37 on the freeway. It was a ton of lights. All I saw was just lights and just noises, right? My face was literally covered with red blood, like your dress.
Wow.
I had a huge hole in my forehead about the size of a golf ball, and that was from me going head first through the windshield. I remember my mom coming on the scene, crying, asking me what's wrong. And there was just this calmness that came over me. I can't explain it, right? After all that, I told her, I said, don't cry. I said, I'm going to be okay. I said, I'm not going to die.
Can't tell moms that.
Right, exactly. But, that was the thing. I told her, I said, I'm not going to die. I said, my head hurts really bad right now, right? So they airlifted me to John Muir in Walnut Creek. They treated me for my head injury because that was the most visible, trauma. So I went in and they treated me for that, came back out in the recovery room in ICU. I started losing sensation in my leg. So I told my mom, I said, can you move my leg for me? And she goes, you were just moving them. I said, I can't move them at all right now.
Gosh.
So they rushed me back into surgery. And that's when they found out I had a spinal cord injury as well. So they did surgery on that. They stabilized my spinal cord. They put 2 rods in my back. They had me in this bed. So now, I'm dealing with the head injury and the back injury. So they wanted to keep me as stable as possible in the bed. They didn't want a lot of movement going on. When I tell you, though, the love and support that came to that hospital after that happened, probably over 300 people.
Oh, my God.
And, you could just feel like I said, I didn't know everything that was going on, but I felt the positive vibes, and I felt the love, and I felt the community just surrounding not only me, but my family, right? Uplifting them and helping them. So I was in John Muir. The doctors told me, you'll never walk. Chances are you'll never walk again. You'll never be able to probably drive. You probably need 24-hour care, right? Because of the brain injury.
Right.
You never have kids. So, they're telling you all these things, right, based off of the diagnosis that's taking place.
Right.
So to hear that from at a 15-year-old, it was like devastating. You talk about for real depression, right? To the point to where it's like, I can't live like this. I was just able to get in the shower and get myself dressed without even thinking twice about it. Now I have to have somebody pick me up just to put me in the bed, take me out the bed, put me in the car. It was tough, right? So after that, they ended up transferring me to Kaiser Vallejo after about, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks being at John Muir. I started doing my physical therapy and things like that. And, from there, it was just a matter of regaining my strength back, right? They were teaching me how to transfer from my wheelchair to the bed, how to transfer from my wheelchair to the car. And these are things like, before it happens, you don't really think twice about how easy it is, right, for us to do these things. But when you're in the situation, it changes like your whole like perspective. Like, I know it's just hard to put on a sock, right? And it was like that. And I told my mom, I said, no, I really don't want to live like this. And she told me, she goes, I don't know how you feel, but what I can say is things will get better. If things don't get better, you can do whatever you want to do, right? And moms know best, right? And things got better, like I said, there were some bumps in the road, and I had my highs and my lows, but more highs than lows. And that's kind of like the background as far as my accident goes. I was going through my rehab. I ended up going back to school. I was able to graduate with my class. I did homeschool the rest of that year and just persevered through it all.
What was your driving force?
My driving force was just seeing the support that I received from my family. They didn't give up on me, and I felt like I owed it to them to not give up on them either, right? And that's what kind of just kept me going. Even the doctors saying all those things. When you come from a sports background and you come from like an athletic background, a lot of times you don't really take no for an answer, because the whole point is, as a competitive athlete, you want to try to prove the opposition wrong, right? So I would use that as motivation. Just, okay, they said I wouldn't drive again. I'm going to show them and prove to them I'm going to drive again, right? I won't be in my right mind.
And the only reason I'm laughing is because he drove here today.
I drove here today, right? Exactly. Graduated from college, got my bachelor's degree, been holding down a job for 13 years, government job at that. So just all those things that they said that wouldn't happen or possibly wouldn't happen, that was my driving force to say, you know what, I want better for myself, and I'm going to make the best of the situation.
So let's get real here. Thank you for sharing that. Oops, there's my new iPhone. Oh my God, it's ringing.
Yeah, you talk.
This is real life, guys. Yeah. So, hearing your story, so many things pop out at me. And at what point, if ever, did you become angry?
Shortly after, and almost throughout that little journey over the span of maybe 6 or 7 years, it was hard. You go out and you see your friends who play on the same baseball team as you, that you were just out there with, and they're going to practice, and you're either watching from the sideline or you decide to just go home because it was like tortured, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and torture myself type of thing. Just like I said, being able to bathe, having somebody have to pick me up, put me in the shower and things like that. It was literally like almost 24/7 care. I could feed myself and things like that, but just that feeling and knowing that, here I am using this wheelchair, and it's reminding me every day, right? I'm seeing it with my eyes, and angry, sad, depressed.
Oh my gosh.
All these like emotions. It's like, and like I said, at 15 years old, this a lot. But at the same time, I was able to use all that and turn it around, right? So I was able to take these negatives and these feelings of anger and depression and things like that, and I was able to flip it to like positivity, gratefulness, looking at what I can do, right? And things that I'm striving for to get, just setting goals, right? And you set these goals for yourself, and as you do that, you start realizing, like, man, things aren't, too bad.
So I know the first time we talked, I asked you, what was it like the first time you had to go down 37?
Yeah. Sadness, anxiety.
Were you afraid to be in cars?
I was definitely afraid to be in cars. I did not want to be a passenger in a car at all. There would be times where I would be sitting in the car and just start crying, right? Just driving on the freeway and just, it was tough. I didn't want to be anywhere near anybody's freeway, streets, none of that, right? Because it was just replaying over in my head, right?
And now it becomes a control thing.
Yeah,
letting
exactly.
anyone get in that driver's seat and drive you around again.
Exactly. And that was something that I really had to like get over, because again, I'm putting my life in somebody else's hands, right? I already did it once and it wasn't good. So to do it again, yeah, it was definitely tough. I would say for the first maybe year, just riding, a car. But to answer your question though, going down 37, I would always try to avoid it, to be honest. It, like I said, it just brought me back to that night, right? And
it's like replay.
It's just like replaying it. And as you're, looking at it and the enemy's talking in your ear, doing what he does, right? So it was tough. Like I said, I didn't want any parts of. And the crazy part is, I'm literally 5 minutes away from 37. That's the freeway that I get on, right? That's closest to my house. But like we talked about before, I said, you know what? The time that I was driving on 37 and it hit me, I said, you know what? I'm actually driving in this car right now by myself with my wheelchair in the car. Before, I didn't have the luxury to just get in the car and just go drive somewhere to clear my mind or, just to get away. I would always have to rely and ask somebody for that assistance, right? So I looked at it as a positive. I said, you know what? I have the freedom to get in this car and drive on this freeway, right? I can go anywhere right now if I want to, right? And after that, I started looking at the positives. And it's all about like perspective, right? How you look at things and how you view things. You could stay in a state of like negative thinking, like you said, controlling. You could stay in that place, and who knows where I would be at right now if I let that allow me to control, my feelings and how I look at things. But I just looked at everything as like a positive. I said, man, doctors told me I wouldn't drive. And here I am, Yes. And ever since then, I kid you not, it's never been an issue. Every now and then, the enemy will try to throw something out there. Right. Doesn't faze me though.
Another question. The day that it happened, when the day approaches the following year, are you reminded?
Kind of like the anniversary?
Yes, the anniversary.
No. It's crazy because my parents' anniversary, I believe it's the following day. Wow. Their wedding anniversary, right? Wow. It's the following day. And I've never really been huge on, reminding myself, oh, you were in an accident this day, right? I know some people that they celebrate it, and because it's another year of overcoming the adversity and the obstacles that they went through. not so much. My son was born on the 5th too, on my parents' anniversary. So it's kind of, I'm like, I look forward to that day more so than,
Exactly.
the day before. So
Exactly. Well, before we get to that, earmark that.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you, was there ever a time where you were mad at God? Because so many people immediately get mad at God.
I have my questions. You always have that why me type of thing. And you probably hear this a lot too, but I would always say, well, why not me? Right? You kind of flip it.
Right.
Mad, I wouldn't say mad, but I would, like I said, it was just questioning like, man, what did I do to get put in this situation? What am I doing, or what are you doing through me to basically, get whatever you're trying to get out of the situation? And I realized so many people that I've like touched just with, my testimony and the people that I come across, the people that I know, the people that I don't know, running into people in the grocery store and, they're just talking to me and I'm encouraging them and not even knowing that I'm encouraging them, right? I mean, pushing my son through the grocery store in the shopping cart and we're shopping and people are just like, you know what, I don't know you, but you're like a real inspiration, right? Yeah.
That's what really got me about you is I think I met you probably in about 17.
About 17.
I was at an event at the high school and you were the DJ.
Yep.
And that's when I met you. And there was just something about you that was so sweet, that was so kind. And ever since then, I just love you. And I didn't know why you were in the wheelchair.
Yep.
But when I started Joycast, and I said, Lord, the purpose is to give ordinary people like me, like us, who have gone through something, a voice. To let others know who are going to or maybe going through it, to give a voice, number one, to you, to share your story, but to help others because others are encouraged by what we go through.
For sure.
And so, like I said, the perseverance part, and now listening to it again, it's like I think about, man, how you forgave. Because you had to forgive a couple people,
Definitely.
You didn't stay angry. You didn't stay mad at God. There's so much that we can draw and pull out of, your experience.
Right.
And just to know that, like when you first sat and told me, I was like so brokenhearted. But you said it with a smile on your face. And I was like, wow. That's the touching part for me.
Right.
And then I think about people who have legs, who have the use of their legs, and they're more constricted almost.
Yeah, they kind of enable themselves.
Yeah. And then like for you, who you can't use yours, but you're so positive, you're so encouraging. Right. It just encourages me that like no matter what I go through, I can get through it. And I remember your story that day in the kitchen. I was like, man. And how long we've been trying to get together?
For
several weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
But you've just like changed, my thinking on so many different things. And perseverance is so important.
It is.
Because it's so easy to give up.
That's the easiest thing to do.
It's easy to just give up and stay mad and stay stuck and not move forward.
Yep.
But you didn't let that happen. And like I said, there's something so special. Yes, you can drive, but they told you may not.
Right.
So many of the things that they told him that he might not be able to do, that he may not be able to have children. And tell us about your baby.
So my son, wears chain every day. He was born October 5th, 2020. And I mean, that's my life, that's my world. And you mentioned the Joycast, and that's what I find joy in, just him.
He beat me. That was my my special question for you.
Yeah,
What have you found joy, through your experience?
Well, the thing is that, like I said, it goes back to the doctors telling me, I wouldn't have kids. And that's a huge deal in the spinal cord community, right? A lot of fathers that are paraplegics aren't able to have kids. Um, and some are, right? But I took that as, man, I want to have a family, kid, things like that. Not that I was in a rush anytime soon at 15, but just looking at the long term. So I find joy in the doctors are telling me that, right? And my son being here, and now it'll be 4 in October.
Wow.
That's like
how amazing
the
is that?
best feeling ever.
How amazing that you beat all of those.
Yep. Yep.
You beat all the odds.
Yep.
And how do you feel about baseball? Can you go to games now? Can you watch it? Was that hard to go back
that
to
was
a
hard
baseball
too.
game?
I mean, yeah, and like I said, I played football, I played basketball, so watching it is hard because it just kind of reminds you of, you start thinking, man, I could have been out there, or I should be out there, right? But now I'm just grateful that I can do those things, that I'm in my right mind to be able to go to a game, right? Or be able to afford a ticket to go to a game. It's like, those are things now that I look at, and not so much so dwelling on, what could have been, or this is my reality right now, right? And it's a good reality. There's a lot of positive things that are going on for me right now, and I'm just appreciative of all that.
Share with me a couple of things that you're doing.
So I'm working on writing a book, right? Because like you said, a lot of people see me, and a lot of people don't know everything. And there's even more to just the everyday struggle that, I was dealing with, right? So yeah, I'm working on that. Getting my son, he likes baseball, he likes sports too, so just kind of training him and getting him, acclimated to sports and things of that nature. So that's been another huge thing for me, and just work, trying to advance my career. And
it's beautiful. So does your son ask you why? Is he old enough to ask you why?
It's funny because, he's starting to get to that point now where he's kind of curious. And, the other day he says, Dad, can you walk? I said, no, Daddy can't walk right now. I said, I got to use this chair to get around and keep up with you, right? I said, I
just love you.
Yeah. But yeah, he's asked me a couple of times. It's kind of like, you could tell his wheels are spinning, right? I said, Daddy's strong. He's gonna be there for you, and
Man, and now you just take care of yourself. You don't need anybody's help.
I don't need help. I live on my own.
Amen.
Yep.
That's so wonderful to hear that. How's your mother and your father?
They're good.
Great support system, I'm sure.
Really good support system. I always say I just thank God for giving them the heart and the spirit that they have. But if it wasn't for them, to be honest, I probably would not be sitting right here. Wow. At all. And with my family support, and it's just everything it's like all the pieces were just, right there. They all fit. Right. And it's like everybody had a role, and everybody played their role. And that's why I'm here today. Yeah.
Well, I'm beyond blessed. I'm beyond blessed. And wow. Yeah. Wow. I'm just so grateful to know you.
I'm grateful.
And well, I remember in church when I saw you and I gave you a hug, and I was like, do I ask him? Do I not? Because some people don't want to share, when you have to be why you have to use discernment.
Mm-hmm,
Be careful because, people are still going through the pain of whatever got them there.
Right, right.
And so for me, I've got to be careful, but thank you for, just being so open.
Yeah,
with me.
definitely. I mean, that's what it's about. Like you said, if my story can help one person,
Yes.
that's good.
Yeah.
If it can help 10, 100,
Yeah.
that's even better, right? So that's what it's about. Just going through it and then just showing people that you just persevere through it. And on the other side, good things can happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And this is our message for today. As you heard his experience, sometimes I have a hard time saying your story because we're more than just our story. And I struggled with that going through my own thing. Was like, it is a story, but it's not all of who I am, and it's not all of who you are.
Right.
And like the song that we sing over and over in church, there's more to this story, and God is doing more and more in your life and mine. And this is a part of it right here. And I know that you're going to encourage people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So thank you. And
thank you for
is there anything else you'd like to say?
I mean, we talk about perseverance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, life isn't perfect. You're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna go through different things. I'm going through stuff right now, right?
I couldn't tell. No smoke. Daniel 3:19. You don't look like what you
just
got
like
through.
outside of this,
Right.
just other personal things. But at the same time, it could be easy for me to throw in the towel right now, right? But you just got to keep going, just keep praying, just keep believing that things, can turn around.
Yes.
And then they will. The key is just try not to give up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I hope you're encouraged by his message today. And I know that I am, and I'll never forget you. Never, ever, ever. And if there's anything that I could ever do for you, I'm here.
Definitely.
Even if it's just to talk or, just whatever, I'm always here for you. Okay. And so this is our episode today for Joycast, and our message is perseverance. And again, if you have a story that you would like to share, tell the world about, please get a hold of me. I'm going to use this handy dandy iPad now. And you can go to ask.joycast@gmail.com or joyinthemorning31@gmail.com.
The second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
The second one. Sorry. It's hard to see because they're so little. But yes, I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, we've got a few really great episodes coming up. And again, just when you tune in, please subscribe. We need subscribers. Help your girl. And so thank you again. Thank you for tuning in to Joycast. And we shall see you next Tuesday. And I wish you the best. And I love you. And have a great day. Take care. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Joy.